made a mistake in recalling the events of 12 years ago. It did not take long to hear from some brave men and women in the air crews who were also in that desert. I want to apologize. I said I was traveling in an aircraft that was hit by RPG fire. I was instead in a following aircraft.
As if someone tied a raw meat suit onto Brian Williams and tossed him into a pool filled with self-important media-type sharks just waiting to feed, the current and perhaps soon former NBC News anchor is taking some time off to see if he can redeem himself in his career. This while the NBC News brand remains something of a joke, as execs there hope the public will soon misremember why they are so angry. All right, let's break out some damage control now. Welcome back to MidPoint, president of the M Network Branding and Strategy, and the man who reportedly was able to single-handedly save the reputation of Howard Beale. Thom Mozloom joins us here on the show. Got you with that.
Wow, the Howard Beale reference.
Well, I mean,
That's
come
awesome.
on. If you think about it, look, Network the movie had it right. Patty Chayefsky had it exactly right, because at that point they took news, they created newstainment, if you will.
That's right, newsertainment.
And infotainment is what it's been called in many ways. And that's what the American people want many times.
Well, you know, it's vegetables versus dessert. As soon as news became linked to ratings, then it stopped giving people what they needed to know and started giving people what they want. And now you're rated the same way as Entertainment Tonight or Access Hollywood or some other magazine show or Friends or ER or any of the other shows that are on. It's all about ratings, and ratings are linked to dollars. And so guys like you have an obligation to give the news, but you also have to be winsome. And that means sometimes caricatures start being developed.
Well, it is very true, because we're dealing, before we get down to the whole idea here of Brian Williams and trying to save his career, there is a difference. Williams sits at a news desk. His job is to straightly deliver the news in a format that ratings have been dying for a long time across all the networks because of the proliferation of cable, internet, what have you. And then you have the ones who have no journalistic background whatsoever, have no idea, no desire to tell the truth, because they just throw it out there. Guys like this complete neophyte, Ronan Farrow at MSNBC, who wouldn't know a news story if it slapped him in the head. He's only there because of his name value. They put these people up there. That's their job. And then you have people like myself and others. I'm a journalist. I deliver the news in a factual sense. That is my job. Do I comment? Yes, I do. But I will comment based on the fact, and I will back it up. People need to understand what's out there and what they're getting. From Williams, though, your point is about the truth and the facts.
Yes, he was in Iraq as a reporter.
Yes.
The next story is he was in New Orleans as a reporter. And the facts don't back up the story he told on the air. The problem that is very, what you said is 100% true. When you take commentary and you take news and you take entertainment and you throw it all into a blender and push liquefy and come out with some strange smoothie of truthiness, nobody knows what to believe. And so if Brian Williams is sitting at the anchor desk, people expect him to be truthful. And if he's lying, it casts everything else. If this was a commentator, we wouldn't be sitting here
Commentator
right now.
is different, right, because then you're not a news anchor.
If this was an opinionator, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. If this was an actor or an entertainer, this would not be a story. But this is a merchant of truth, somebody who we rely on to be credible and give credible information. And this has been NBC's issue. NBC, in particular, as a news organization, has had this particular problem for a decade.
They've had it, but not only at NBC. We're talking about MSNBC and all of their various elements as well.
That's exactly correct.
Their platform does. And it's true. It's funny, but American people give great ratings to things that don't necessarily give them truth. But then when their truth tellers are suddenly in trouble and may not be telling them, then they scream. Let's get down to that. The piling on Williams here. I don't know Brian Williams. I've never met him. I've watched him. I've respected him. But the piling on and the frenzy feeding here is just at a ridiculous level at this point.
Right. This is the Glenn Frey song being played out. Dirty Laundry.
It is Dirty Laundry.
This is it. We love it when people lose. And listen, Brian Williams. I know Brian Williams. I worked at NBC. Brian Williams is a stand-up good guy. I'm saying that on the record. Period. He made a mistake. I don't know why he made a mistake. I don't know if this is habitual. People generally don't lie one time, so it's a character flaw. But he's a generally good guy, and he may not be suited to do this job anymore. However, well, listen, he made a mistake.
But he made a mistake more than once. I think that's it. Had he told the story once and made the mistake, I think he could have apologized his way out of it. But then they're finding that he told it also here on the Letterman show. And he told it here. And NBC has been pushing this as part of their promotional effort for a long time.
Back in the day, 100 million years ago when I actually worked in television, we had a general code of ethics that said we don't eat our own.
There you go.
We don't eat our own, because now every single anchor on every desk is going to be fact-checked on every story. The way to play this out was to let Brian Williams go away quietly and with his dignity while the rest of the TV news business spun and kept churning.
Now, is it possible for him to save his career at this point? But you talked about him perhaps doing something else.
Yeah, I mean, could he still work in television? Yes. I think it's going to be a long time before he sits at the anchor desk and gets the same type of credibility rating that he had in the past. I think that goes away. And I don't know how you rehab as a liar. I don't know how you come back in a month or 2 months
Seriously?
and say,
Come on, there's a lot of people who've rehabbed as liars in this society.
not in your business.
Not in our business, no, correct.
Not when your job is to sit here and tell the truth. I don't know how the audience is going to react to that. I don't know if there's a place for him. As a news director, maybe. As a news manager, maybe. As the general manager of a local television station, there are plenty of people in that position who have come out of this job and done that. Sitting at the news desk at the national level, I don't know. And I think that there might also be an opportunity for the NBC News platform as a whole to take this, blow itself up, and remake itself as something different, because the far left commentator opinionator has tainted the entire news product. The Today Show isn't what it was. NBC Nightly is now a shell of what it was. MSNBC, CNBC, they're all in the toilet. This is an opportunity for NBC to blow it all up and say we're starting as something else.
I got about 30 seconds left, but is maybe the one good thing that comes out of this is let the general public understand they should be fact-checking everybody. They should be looking for the truth, and they should be finding out those people who are feeding them bile on a daily basis.
Poll after poll says that people are dubious of news guys anyway. They all think the news is slanted, no matter what news it is. I don't think there's any good news in this. I think it's bad news for the entire industry.
Well, the one thing that I've always said, I've often told people, fact-check me all you want, fact-check the show. We appreciate that, and we want people to understand that we are trying to do the facts first.
Yeah, transparency rules. The only way to do it.
Good seeing you again,
All right,
my
brother.
friend. Always
Thanks.
a pleasure. Call Brian quickly. To turn a phrase from a once very popular motion picture, nobody puts Vladimir in a corner. That's the message with a scowl being sent to the West, but let's see if anyone's listening. It's coming up next, right here on MidPoint.